Hello there and welcome. It's been a while since we've had a chance to chat, but welcome back. And, there's a couple of new things that we were brewing while I was out and just taking some time for myself. And Liliana, I'm gonna bring her on because she has something to share with me. But before we get started, I just want to give everyone la bienvenida to the Claudia Macias podcast. This is year 10, and this is episode number 330. And I'm just so blessed to be here and be able to do this and be able to do this show with Liliana in la radio. And Liliana is just an amazing woman who says when we're going to do something, it's going to get done. And I'm just excited to be a part of this because we're leaving a legacy. We're creating the space and for people to come and share who they are, people that we admire. And hopefully you will admire them too. So with that in mind, that being said, I want to officially welcome you back to our new home, which is Admirable Radio. Now, Admirable Radio. Hi, Admirable Radio. Okay. My bilingualism sometimes gets in the way. Admirable Radio. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Because when you live in a bilingual world, sometimes you're like, es admirable, ¿verdad? Y también it's admirable. ¿Lo dije bien?
Sí.
Do you remember, Liliana? I want to bring you on because when you first started a while back, you used to help me a lot with Spanish words. Remember?
I remember, comadre. I remember.
And now you're helping me with English words. I'm like, how do we say that in English?
Oh, you learned a lot of Spanish. You almost forgot your English.
Exactly. So I want to welcome you to my show, the Claudia Macias podcast, because we got some new stuff and
new, everything new.
yes,
New image, new platform,
new home,
new everything, new. Admirable Radio.
Admirable Radio, and I like your tagline. It's every
voice, every
voice,
age, every woman.
Every voice, every age, every woman.
Yes.
Admirable Radio. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Admirable Radio.
Yes.
And
because I've learned that to love someone, you have to admire that person. I've learned that in order to get to know someone really, really well and admire them, you have to really spend time with that person, or really get to know more of that person. So this is admirable. What you're doing is admirable.
What we're doing is admirable because what we're doing is we're lifting voices, lifting people, their message, their journey that potentially someone else could learn from. And that's admirable. Their work is admirable. And so is ours.
Yes.
And I admire you for all the things that you've done in life, with your kids, with your performances, because you work with kids. You also are you're an artist.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you run Admirable Radio. So it's admirable.
Yeah. Admirable Radio. And after 16 years of Radio Crystal USA, now we have Admirable Radio, which is a different kind of approach. We're trying to approach, or we're trying to cater more.
Connect more. Yeah.
Connect more with women, which are
I love this.
Which are the roots
I love this.
of homes. Most of our homes are run by women.
Yeah, we are the CEOs.
Yes.
Of a lot of things. You're reminding me of a conference that I went to. It was all about maternal health. And it was, speakers and women that went up there to talk about, what it's like to be a mom, what it's like to care for little ones, what it's like to care for yourself. And one of the speakers was a doctor, and she went up there to share about you embracing yourself as a CEO. And then everybody in the audience was kind of like, what do you mean? Right? And then she said, okay, raise your hand if you are the one that makes sure that all the appointments for the entire family, the kids are scheduled, and then we all raised our hands, right?
It's 99% women
Raise
who
your
raise their.
if you're the one that does most of the shopping, whether it's groceries, anything for the
Mhm.
house, what okay, everyone's raising their hand. Raise your hand. And so then she kept saying different things. And then she said, you're the CEO.
We
And her
run everything.
we
We
run
run the
everything.
world.
Exactly. And then I loved how she pointed out that you need to take that into the doctor's office. Because that's what this was about, maternal health and making sure that you stand up for yourself and
Yeah.
what you need, and you're the CEO. So I love that. I love that we're going to be continuing to embrace women, lift their voices, all ages, whether you are in the menopause age like me.
And it starts when we're like little, when we're
Super
little
little.
girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like at school, I have well, we have 24 uh pre-Kers in my classroom.
Uh-huh.
And I notice, I mean, it's not that I'm trying to see it, I'm trying to look for that, but it's right there. We
Mm-hmm.
make groups of children, and it's mostly girls who run
Oh,
the
wow.
groups. I mean, you would be amazed at what happens when a girl runs a group of
Mm.
children. Like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna like
They're
they take
CEOs. They're
charge.
already mini CEOs.
Being the CEOs.
Mini CEOs. And let me tell you this, women constitute the majority of US college students, with
Wow.
47% of women aged 25 to 34 holding a bachelor's degree compared to
Hmm.
37% of men.
Yeah,
Now, and that's admirable, right?
it is.
And even though we are uplifting the voice of the woman, every age, every voice, we also want to we're going to make space for the gentlemen, the men that
Exactly.
support,
That's
that
what I
uplift.
mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean by every voice, every age, every woman.
Hmm.
Because most men learn mostly from a woman.
Exactly. They're
So
from their
uh,
mama
from their
to las
mamas,
tías,
abuelitas,
las
tías,
madrinas,
everyone.
to and most of the
Comadre,
teachers are
we have our
women.
guest in the back. So
Oh my, I can't wait to
are
bring them
you ready,
on.
comadre?
So, you know what? Hold on. Let me get ready. Let me get ready.
All
Da, da, da,
right.
da. Yeah, I'm
All right,
ready.
comadre, I'm going to be behind the scenes
And
taking
thank you,
care of
Liliana. Yes.
everything.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Liliana, the
Thank
amazing
you.
productora de radio. Gracias por estar aquí.
See you later.
Adios.
Episode 330.
Here we go. So, all right. So, we're going to get started with our amazing guest. I am proud and honored to have someone that you might already know about, and maybe you don't, and you're going to get a chance to meet him. But maybe for some, it'll be a reintroduction of the one and only Bobby Pulido. So, if he is ready to come on, I would like to bring him on and get a chance to introduce him to the audience. There he is.
There he is.
Howdy, how are y'all doing?
Doing good, Bobby. How are you? And where are you right now?
I am in my hometown of Edinburgh, Texas.
Edinburgh. Pues bienvenido al
Thank
show,
you.
the Macias show. And I'm honored to have you here. And I just want to let you know that I am a fan. I did
Thank
grow
you.
up singing and dancing to your music while I was in college.
Where'd you go to college, Claudia?
U of H.
Houston.
Yes.
Cougars. All right.
Cougars, yes. And I have a friend of mine who is the daughter of Mr. Bijarro, Joe Bijarro, who lives
From
in Rosenberg.
Rosenberg. From
Yes,
Rosenberg. Of course. Alice's husband.
yes,
Alice
Alice's
Bijarro.
husband.
Yes.
And she
Of
actually ran for
course.
an office too, I think, out there.
She did.
Yes, she
Yeah, I
did.
believe
She did.
so. Yeah.
So Lisa and I were friends when we were in college,
Wow,
and
what a small world.
I know. And there were many nights when I would, well, my mom thought I was studying at U of H, but I was actually out with Lisa, just having a good time. But I would spend the night at her house, and there were many times I would wake up in the middle of the night, and there was your dad in the kitchen. I'm like, why is Roberto Pulido here? And she goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's my dad's compadre." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then we go back to sleep. But yeah, but welcome
Small
and
world.
small world. And I'm going to start off with this. Thank you for stepping into this arena of running for office. I can only imagine what it's like, but I want to hear from you. Like, what was it that was that moment? Because Lisa, Mr. Vijarro and Miss Vijarro's daughter, and I, we were texting each other already. I'm like, did you hear? He's gonna run. What's he gonna run for? What que partido? Oh my gosh, we need someone like
Yeah.
him. So we're going back and
Yeah.
forth, and then I just finally you announced, but I want to hear from you. Like, what was that turning point where you said, I'm gonna throw literally my cowboy hat in the ring and do this?
Yeah. Uh, I started I started thinking about it in 2022
Hmm.
in November, when our representative right now, when she won. And but I did not make that decision right away. I just thought about it. And I kind of just sat back and watched her take her votes and watch how she carried herself. And I think towards the end of 23 is when I really started considering it. And 2024 came around. I don't ever like to do anything hastily or make any decision really, out of emotion or anything like that. In early 2024, I said, okay, I'm gonna retire from music, and I'm gonna announce my farewell tour. I've had 30 years in the music industry, and I felt that I had to do something. I had to leave on good terms with
Hmm.
with the family, with the
That's
fans,
me. Yeah.
and they'd been really good to me, and I felt like I owed it to the people to give them one last,
Hmm.
hurrah.
Hmm.
And 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 people were telling me, are you going to run in 24? I'm like, no, not
Hmm.
going to run 24. I'm going to run 26.
Okay.
And uh I that's kind of when I decided. Look, it's the Rio Grande Valley has shifted a lot,
Hmm.
but I didn't really feel like we had the right message or leadership engaging the people.
Yeah.
And I say that as a Democrat.
Hmm.
I felt like our party was kind of lost and rudderless, and it bothered me.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was a direction where that was noticeable. That I felt that the party was. If you go look at the statistics and the data, we were
Hmm.
losing support, little bit
Yeah.
at a time.
Hmm.
But and I just didn't feel like they were understanding the community, in my opinion.
Yes, and there is a lot of talk about like the Democrat committees at the national level, then at the state level, and then at the local level, and there was always that communication like they're not listening to us, they're not
No,
seeing what
no.
it is that we're needing. So as you're, you went on a lot of tours, right? You were out there
Mhm.
doing the music, spreading that love. Now you're doing a different type of tour. You're doing the listening tours, and I did get a chance to
Yeah,
listen to what you've been doing.
yeah.
How has that shaped your platform? What are the main key issues that you're taking potentially when you step into the role of being that Congress member?
It has confirmed my suspicions,
Mm,
because when we go out there and we do town halls and meetings and gatherings, we're always talking to voters. And I'm always a curious person, and I'm always asking them, like, okay, what's important to you? And the one thing that I can tell you is we do fit some stereotypes as Hispanics.
mhm,
We're about work, and we're about family.
mhm,
uh we're about we're spiritual people. We're very much about our faith. And I felt like, as a party, we weren't talking in terms of economics as much as we were talking about social justice, which social justice is important.
mhm,
I'm not going to, say anything otherwise than that. But I didn't feel that we led with the number one most important thing, which is, here in the Rio Grande Valley, this was a migrant farm worker community, right?
mhm,
My grandfather was a migrant farm worker. My dad was too. And the thing that unites us all down here is that We want our kids to do better than us.
Yeah.
That's our motivator, right? It's all about our family. Our family is our motivation. And if the party's not talking in terms of economics on how I'm going to fix and provide, and by the way, I would tell you, the Democratic Party, I believe, is historically is the better
Hmm.
party on economics and the economy. We just tend to kind of assume that everybody knows about it,
Mm,
and we don't run on it. And I feel like, we are the American dream. The Latino community is an embodiment of the American dream because we come from nothing. And
absolutely.
and our goal is to try to, always put our kids on our shoulders to try to get
Hmm.
up higher, right? And if the other side is the only one saying, well, I'm for tax cuts, and you're talking about other things that are not that,
Hmm.
I think it's an easy decision that a lot of people would be floating away from it. And
Yeah.
so I know, I get it. The Latino community is not a monolith. There's
Mm-mm.
a lot of different Latinos, and I get that. I
Hmm.
understand.
Yeah.
But there are definitely things that unite us all.
Absolutely.
And I just don't feel like the party in general has really understood it. And look where we are right now. We have a president that, in my opinion, is deranged, right?
Yes.
He's kind of off his rocker, and and
Hmm.
and doesn't really care about, or have empathy towards people's
People,
yes.
just people in general.
And look, if it's a binary choice when you have a campaign, they're going
Hmm.
to go one way or they're going to go the other. If we do not give people a good option, they'll vote for the other guy, right?
Absolutely.
And this
Yeah.
is what happened, right? And so I've never been the type. I would never vote for the man, but I never got
Hmm.
in a fight over politics with anybody. I never,
Yeah.
I definitely have a lot of friends of mine that voted for Trump,
Hmm.
and we would have our friendly back and forth, but
Answer.
never,
Yeah.
yeah, but it never got ugly.
Okay.
But I think that, we also kind of handed it to him on a silver platter. And
I
and
always felt like we didn't have our messaging,
we did
our
not.
points, because I want to say that I don't mean it in a good way, but the Republican Party has for many years done a fabulous job. I don't say in a good way of
No, no,
putting
yeah,
out the message over and over and over and over, three things over and over and over. I
yep.
remember listening to AM radio only because I would drive a lot, and so
Rush
I would
Limbaugh,
write all
yeah,
of them
oh
back
yeah,
to
of
back, and
course,
I'm like, wow, okay. And then I listen to everything. I listen to all types,
yeah.
the BBC, hasta the BBC News to Al Jazeera to PBS to
Everything, right,
all of it,
right,
because I want to hear it. But
yeah.
one thing that they were really good at is all day long, all the different people that came on said the same thing. And then the more I dug into it, I'm like, oh, so they're giving the memo and it's passed
Right,
down.
that's
And you
exactly
say
right.
that and you say that and there's fear. And I feel like, and probably the statistics there, I feel like we have lost so many people out of fear. There's like fear is being used to say that that person that looks like you or me is
Mhm.
taking away something that you should have, you
Well,
know.
let me tell you,
Hmm.
historically, that's been Republicans' best tool,
Hmm.
has been fear,
Fear.
right? I mean, ever since Reagan, right? Mr.
Yeah.
Gorbachev tore down this wall. We're going to be speaking Russian if we don't do something about it.
Hmm.
Um, it's and then it became terrorism under George W.
Hmm.
That was the big boogeyman,
The big
and then
boogeyman.
and
Exactly.
then it was the wokeism and other things like that. That I will tell you that
Hmm.
you know, uh, we probably played right into their hands on.
Yes.
But there's
Because we
always,
never really had our own. We were always playing defense,
of
right?
course,
Instead of like, let's start with people need
yeah,
to eat. People want a good schools for their kids. People want to
right,
drive on a street que no tenga big old potholes where you're gonna lose half of your car.
right.
Go ahead. I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Yeah.
No, no, you're 100% right. And I feel like we didn't really talk about those issues that
Yeah.
cared more. Listen, I mean, on the campaign trail, when I go and I talk to voters, it's like if I was in a different planet than social media. Now,
Wow.
social
Yeah.
media is like a different world that doesn't exist,
Hmm.
right? And so people will harp on one issue or two issues that they really care about and they're really rabid about, and they get mad and they
Yeah.
come at you and they insult you and they do all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you go out, talk to regular people, regular voters,
Mhm.
and they don't talk about that. They don't even mention
Mm.
those things,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
and and that's like it's kind of like that's the one thing that surprised me that I've learned in campaigning is don't succumb to the bullying of social media,
Mm.
because there's a lot of bullying on social media, and most of the time the bullying comes from your own side. Uh,
Yes.
but but there are times where the other side will just attack you, right? I
Mhm.
mean, mercilessly. But you have to have convictions, and you have to stay the course, and know that when people go into a voting booth to go vote, they're the people that you're talking to out at those meetings and gatherings
Yes.
and town halls. And so I kind of just had that be my North Star, and
Mhm.
not really, and it's hard. It's hard to do
Yeah.
that. It is
Yeah.
really hard because you think the whole world hates you because of
Mhm.
something that's, 100 people can look like if they're 10,000 people on social media.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you have
Exactly.
100 people, hating on you, it just
Yeah.
looks like so many more. And then
Mhm.
we would go in there and see that most of the people that would do this aren't even in the district. They don't even vote in your district. So,
Absolutely.
it's kind of, you have to kind of decipher the BS and say like, okay, well, I
Mm.
don't know if
Yeah.
this is that big of a thing, right? But nonetheless, we try to do the right thing. We try to work hard, and yes, I'm a different type of candidate, no doubt. But we're definitely not running a campaign to say vote for me because I'm famous. Um,
Absolutely not. Yeah. So
we're
no.
take yeah.
Yeah. So with that in mind, how has it been for you to convince folks to say, "Hey, I am the person." They may say, "Oh, well, you've been in entertainment all this time. What gives you the authority now to step into this role?"
I believe in my case, Claudia, the most important thing that I do is I show up and I answer
Mhm.
their questions and I meet them and I look them in the eye when I talk to them.
Mm.
Because look, you have to understand, everybody right now, because of the algorithms, it's not even our fault.
Yeah.
The algorithms have us in informational bubbles.
Those silos.
Right. You're in a silo. So
Yeah.
so if you tend to lean conservative and you're like, I'm over here conservative, the algorithm goes, oh, they listen to this kind of podcast. I'm going to feed you
Mm.
more of the same. And you're not getting the other side, right? And the
Yeah.
same happens on the left. You get in that silo and the algorithm goes, oh, we have a lefty here,
Mm.
progressive. We're not going to feed them anything else but progressive.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's confirmation bias. They'll tell you stuff that they already think that you already believe.
Mhm.
And because of these informational silos, it's very hard to campaign and break through to get to distinguish yourself. But there's
Yeah.
one way to do it, the old fashioned way. Show up, go talk to people,
Yeah.
answer their questions.
Yes. It's almost like we have to have a campaign within the campaign. The campaign
Yeah.
is to get out, talk to your family, talk to your friends,
Yeah.
what are the issues? And then the other piece is how do you also convince folks that their vote matters while you're out doing that, because we've seen so much happening right now with gerrymandering, and
Yeah.
we just heard right now what happened recently with where were we in Vermont? ¿Dónde estábamos in? Where was
Virginia.
it? Virginia.
Yeah.
And what we had here too with the gerrymandering here and the
Mhm.
redistricting. So how do you convince folks? What do you say to give them hope? Because we want to move away from the fear and moving
Yeah.
into hope and familia, and what is it, how can we now bolster our kids and into the future? How are you galvanizing that?
I think there's several things, but the most important thing as a candidate is to be authentic.
Mhm.
Because if there's one thing that we're pretty much been inundated with are elected officials that are fake
Mm.
and that just kind of tell you what you want to hear, and they'll go and they'll, yeah, this and this, and then they could care less. And
Mm.
people could see that, right? And I think that the one thing is to be authentic and tell the truth. And I guess it sounds easy, but sometimes the truth hurts,
Mhm.
and sometimes people will get mad at the truth.
Mhm.
right? And they may not like it. They may think that you're talking aiming at them or whatever that may be, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's important to be authentic. It's important to show up. Um, and and more importantly, like talk in the language that most people talk,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
Look, and believe me, right? Like I went to St. Mary's University. I can get
Mhm.
really nerdy sometimes,
Yeah.
but I always have to try to fight the nerdiness
Yeah.
and try to bring it down in a more colloquial
Yeah.
way of speaking,
Mhm.
uh, so people can understand. You know, if you tell them, well, you know why why are you a Democrat?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, why are you a Democrat? Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
and they'll have this. Well, I'm a Democrat because Democrats are better than the economy. What do you mean? Republicans are better at the economy. They'll cut your taxes.
Mhm.
Like, okay. Well, you go to ChatGPT and see like
Yes.
the last 30 years and see like how many recessions were started under Democratic presidents.
Mhm.
Well, how many? Well, 10 out of the last 11 were started under Republican presidents,
Mhm.
right? GDP growth, gross domestic product, is up historically under Democratic administrations. Unemployment rates better. Like every metric that you can go. So that's the kind of Democrat that I want to be. That's the one I want to fight for.
Mhm.
But you got to put it to them in a way that they understand why Republicans are not better for the economy,
Mhm. Look
right?
at
Because
the
they'll say,
patterns. Yeah.
well, yeah, then
Yeah.
they'll say we're going to cut your taxes.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're telling me that I can have my cake and eat it too? We don't
Mm.
have to pay for it in taxes, right? And you're going to make things more affordable. Well, okay. So if all of a sudden you say we're going to cut everybody's taxes, that means the government's going to have less money coming in. It's going to still have to print money to
Mm.
pay all the bills of the country. And
Mhm.
you expect to have a great military, great police, healthcare, great roads and bridges, infrastructure, all of these things. And we're just going to miraculously get it without having to pay. No, we're going to have to print money. And when we print money, the deficit, I mean, actually goes up
Mhm.
because the value of the dollar goes down.
Mhm.
Because the more money you print, right? And that's why when you go to a grocery store and you go shopping and it's $100 you paid and you come out with a little plastic bag,
Una bolsita.
right?
Mhm.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Is they convinced you that you could have your cake and eat it too, and that everything would be great and you could pay less in taxes, and everybody else, all those billionaires are going to not pay taxes,
Yes.
right? And then they can go right off another airplane so they don't have to pay the American government, which is the people,
Mhm.
and you're going to be great. And so I'm just trying to point it out in those situations to say,
Yes.
like, there are no free rides.
Yeah.
We can't have our
Absolutely.
cake and eat it too,
Mm-mm.
right? We're going to have some fiscal discipline. I believe in fiscal discipline. You know, I want to take care of people's tax money the way I take care of my own money in my house. I
Yeah.
run a balanced budget at my house, right? We we,
Absolutely.
we should do the same for with the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, um, I feel like they're really good marketers and we suck at marketing. And
Exactly. Like everything you just said right now, like I've always said, hey, how can we get people? How can we get people to do this and this? And I go, look, you need some, first of all, it needs to be family oriented. You need to have some music, you need to have some food, and you need to have some really just short little sound bites that say this equals to that. Everybody's mind right now, and unfortunately, with the whole social media and the algorithms, but the way content is created, it's so quick and so easy. Kids are scrolling on everything. Even
yeah,
older folks, we don't really read books like we used to. We're just scrolling.
no,
How do we now? The thing is, now how are you working on that, maybe with your campaign? What does that look like so that one day we can be like the other side, where they heard the same three things over and over and over, but it's real stuff, not made up stuff. Like this
yeah.
is really
I
what's affecting
I
you.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think it starts with communicating the best you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I'm not taking, Claudia, I'm not taking my marching orders from the party.
I
What you
like that.
see, what you see is what you get,
Mm-hmm.
right? I am telling you, I am speaking from the heart. I'm telling you
Mm-hmm.
exactly, I think we have a big problem with corruption in government.
Everywhere.
I
Yeah.
I am for term limits. I
Hmm.
don't think that somebody should be in there and get comfortable. You know,
Or
you
get wheeled out where they can't. They
or
don't
get
even
wheeled
know.
out, right?
They
I
don't even
don't
know who
think
they
that
are. Yeah, I
I
hear
don't
you.
think that we should be trading in stocks as
Hmm.
congressmen.
Hmm.
Um, you know, we because of all this stuff, we do what's ever in the best interest of these corporations
Yeah,
and not what's in the best interest of the people,
other people.
right?
Exactly.
And so look, I just want to be honest about things,
I like you.
and tell you what I think needs fixing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that doesn't mean, and I'm going to tell you this, that does not mean that I think every Republican is bad or every Republican has a bad idea. I
Mm-hmm.
think Republicans have good qualities about them. I don't think conservatism is a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's gotten corrupted. I tell people what you see with Trump is not conservatism. It's
Mm-hmm.
populism, right?
Mm,
It's just right wing populism. But
absolutely.
and I don't think that's good either.
Yeah.
But to me, it's important to just talk to the people and be as honest as you can, you
Yeah.
know, or not as you can. Just be honest. Period. Just
Yeah.
say it, tell it like it is.
And it's so important what you said, the messaging, the communication, and I love how you took your opponents poking at you running and
Yeah.
telling you you need to go back and sing at quinceañeras. And I think how you took that and turned it around on its head is exactly what is needed. Is how do you take something, how'd you take something that was so precious and use it as a way that is positive? Like, yeah, I that's what I did, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to
Mhm.
share what from my heart, what I plan to do, make sure that people know me and I'm showing up. You said you're showing up to the quinceañeras. I
Mhm.
wish I could have invited you to my girls. I had two back to back, but I know,
Expensive.
expensive,
Expensive.
yes.
Ooh.
um and so I love how you did that. When that happened, who thought of that amazing turnaround, and how is that going right now with going to these amazing family oriented celebrations to share what you're doing and what and how you're going to make things happen for us?
It has been golden for us. I might say. A friend of mine who actually ran for Congress years ago approached me when she said that. She goes like, "I can't believe she attacked you on quinceañeras."
Mm.
She said, "You ought to have a big quinceañera and invite everybody and invite all these girls and have them." And I said, and my first thing was, "That's too expensive because there's not a place big enough
Uh-huh.
that I can rent where they can also bring their families."
Yeah.
So that kind of morphed into, well, maybe I'll just have them invite me to theirs.
Mm-hmm.
If they want, I'll show up and I'll be part of the entertainment, right? And
Uh-huh.
so we did, not knowing how that would go.
Uh-huh.
Um, and shoot, the first day we had 1,000 invites,
Wow.
and up to date we've had 3,500,
Mm-hmm.
which about 60% of them are in district.
Good.
Um, it's been golden. The hardest thing to do when you're campaigning
Mm-hmm.
is to get in front of different people.
Yeah.
You know, when you're running in an area and you go have an event, over the course of a campaign, you're going to see those people probably 12 or 15 times, the same
Mm-hmm.
people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is always to try to reach
Yeah.
outside of
Cast a wider net. Yeah.
yes, cast a wider net, you know, reach a different universe, expand the
Yeah.
universe.
Mm-hmm.
And this has allowed us to do that.
That's
Now, we
amazing.
don't talk a lot of politics. That's
Mm.
true. But at least it piques people's interest
Yes.
to say, okay, you got my attention. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to research it and go look. And all of our traffic got bigger because
Mm-hmm.
of it,
Because of
right?
it. Yes.
Yeah, you got to understand, like in the age that we're working in now, when we show up to this quinceañera, there may be an average of 250 people.
Mm-hmm.
And as we walk in, we start singing. People are like this.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
everybody's live streaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's live streaming it.
Yeah.
So how many people are watching that one event
Yeah.
on social media,
Uh-huh.
right? Like thousands of
Ooh.
people per
Yes.
per event.
Per event.
per
Yeah.
event, right?
And
Thousands
every
of people.
person there, yes.
Right. So thousands of people are watching you. Well, when they post it, they tag Bobby Pulido.
Mm-hmm.
So the algorithm starts going, oh, Bobby Pulido? They must like this guy because they're texting about it and posting
Mm-hmm.
about him.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Mm-hmm.
does the algorithm do? It promotes you and it says,
Mm-hmm.
hey, check this out, right?
I
And
love it.
so then it blows up even more. So and the beauty of it, Claudia, is it didn't cost us much more than
Nothing.
our time.
Just your time in showing up. Now, I was
That's
going to
it.
ask, when you go, what is your message? Do you also include, hey, if you're about to turn 18, sign up to vote? What is part of your
It's
visit?
it's very brief and it's
Mhm.
not very political because
Okay,
the last thing we want to do is to Debbie Downer the
true,
quinceañera.
true,
So it's her night.
true,
I
true,
just
true.
say thank you. I'm Bobby Pulido, running for Congress in District 15, and I'd appreciate your support.
Ándale.
And that's what
And
we
that's
say.
enough.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's
yeah. And
it.
you get their interest. You got the
That's it.
organic
Yeah.
campaigning that's getting you promoted, and then it helps people see, okay, this guy showed up, because that means a lot. What you said, just showing up and being authentic and taking something that was supposed to be negative and turn it into positive. And
Yeah,
I think
because
that is.
because my opponent tried to be like Trump,
Mhm, mhm,
right?
mhm.
And I think people right now are fed up with that.
Yeah.
They don't want that anymore. I really think even people that supported Trump are tired of that negativity of just
Mm,
demonizing and doing that and that
yeah.
ugliness. We don't
Yeah.
want to run that kind of campaign. Listen, I
Good.
get it. It's politics. Politics are dirty. They'll
Yeah.
hit you, they'll come at you, they'll throw all kinds of stuff at you.
Hmm.
Um, but it doesn't always have to be that way.
Hmm.
And if we can stay away from getting into the mudslinging, I would rather do it. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
criticisms are fair game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if she took a vote that hurt and she did things like that, we're gonna call her out on it, and we are.
Good.
But I don't gotta go insult our culture,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
And you did it right away. I loved how you, because what you're doing, what you did to confront it in a way, or say, hey, my opponent, this and that, you went head on with it and you turned it around. And I think that's going to be so necessary when you go in there and fight the fights that need to be fought.
of course,
Now,
I'm not. Listen,
yeah.
don't confuse that for weakness,
Oh, hell
because
no.
I can scrap it on
Mm,
with the best of them,
I
right?
like
And I'm
that.
not afraid. I'm not afraid of that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that you have to be ugly in
No,
order to fight for the things you need to fight for, right? And
exactly.
so yeah, and sometimes you got to be ugly, but not all the time.
No, no, no. You're gonna know how to.
Yeah,
We need to defend ourselves.
of
We need to
course.
make sure that we say what we need to say. And like you said, you're gonna be fighting with facts. I had a joke with one of my comadres. We went out running and we were thinking about, how can we get more people to vote? How can we get more people involved? We were just thinking, and then I said we need to come up with facts news instead of Fox News, but
Ah,
facts. Facts news. Like, oh my God, we got to do that. And how do we continue to share with others? Because I was, I've been surprised with some of my colegas that even they don't vote because they feel that why should they vote? Or and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I don't want to scare them off. I don't want to be that Debbie Downer. It's like, how do you stop and just listen and tell me why,
well,
and
but
then try to.
I understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
I understand what you're saying, Claudia. But I'm gonna put it in a different term. I'm gonna use a musical analogy.
A ver.
Okay, this is the way I see it. If I record a song, even if I think that song is a hit,
Mm,
if that song goes on the radio or people listen to it and it's not a hit and people are not excited to listen to that song, is it their fault? Or is
mm,
it my fault for not putting out a better song?
mm, mm,
It's my fault. If I never blame
mm,
the people.
mhm,
And I will tell you that when it comes to politics, whatever party is able to motivate the people to get out to vote through their song their message,
Mm,
and what they're trying to do. The answer's in the mirror. I have to always do better.
yeah.
We can't always blame the people for saying, well, they're not really excited. If they're not excited, it's your fault that you're not exciting them.
Ooh,
It is our fault.
yeah.
And so I think the moment we learn that is a moment that our party and our country will be better.
Yeah.
And we need a healthy two-party system, right? We
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
We need sane Republicans back in the
Mm-hmm.
fold. We need
Mm-hmm.
sane Democrats in the fold to say, like, okay, let's figure this out, even if we're not on the same party, but we want the same things,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the same goals. And so I feel we have to be better and and motivate the people.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
mean, we're bringing out a different class of voter
Yeah.
down here in South Texas. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Even in this primary, we brought out people that don't usually vote,
Mm-hmm. I love
and
that.
and
Yeah.
and we're going to continue to do that. And I think that that's the reason why we're going to win.
That there you go.
Yeah,
Now I love how your district is 15. And
it's 15. My district is
it's right
15.
there. 15
Yeah,
for making, and then I love how you are using your hats, make 15 great again.
yeah.
Um, I think all of it is in the right direction. I love how you are coming at it with a very humanity piece that is missing. And you're right about, and myself, even myself, my background is education and mental health. That's my world.
Mhm.
And all I've done my whole career is to make sure that we're listening to each other, that we create spaces for people to be vulnerable, to say, I need help. I don't get this. Maestra, how do I do this? I'm talking to families, making sure that through the work I do with the mental health space, that they are reaching out for services if they need something, breaking that stigma of needing mental health support.
Yeah,
So it's always so important of making sure that we are true, we are also vulnerable, that we connect with people. And I think that's such a need right now, is connecting and bringing humanity back into things. And I thank you
I
for
agree.
holding on to your authenticity, de quién eres, de dónde vienes, y no te olvides de eso. And I know you're not.
No,
Cuando ya entras, when you get into that door and you carry everything that you've learned, that you've seen, that you've felt from the people. And one thing that you remind me so much of a woman that who taught me to embrace my name, Claudia Macias. For many years I was Claudia Macias because I needed to fit in. I
Mhm.
saw that certain people with a certain sound and a certain look belonged more than me. And it wasn't until I was at U of H taking the Mexican American Studies program where I met Lisa Vijarro that I embraced Claudia Macias again. And then later on, when I was training to be a principal, I was a principal of an elementary school, and I was being trained to introduce myself to a board. And I said, "I'm Claudia Macias." And then my mentor said, "Stop right there." And I said, "What?" "A while ago, when I was practicing with you, you said you're Claudia Macias. Now you're Claudia Macias. Who are you?" And I didn't know what to say. And she reminded me never to leave Claudia Macias at the door. Any door you enter, you remain true. So thank you, Bobby, for sharing that of you remaining true to who you are and standing up for what needs to be stood up for, and embracing that and taking it with you in your heart. Thank you so much for running with your heart.
No, no problem. And I want to thank you for also being a champion for education. I
Thank
feel
you.
like, look, here in the Rio Grande Valley, there's a lot of people that are across the country, across Texas, that have left the Rio Grande Valley because of educational opportunities,
Hmm.
and they found ways to make money in other areas, and that's really good. My goal is that one day we can create industry down here
Hmm.
where the people and the talent that are educational related can stay here.
Absolutely.
Because everybody that I meet that's out of the valley always like says like, I miss the valley so much, man. I
Mm-hmm.
just wish I could make that kind of money that I make over here over there.
Yeah.
And so we really want to work on that, and
Yeah.
have them stay. So the valley's a wonderful place. It really is. We need to create that economic opportunity here for people to stay.
Absolutely. And have that and hold on to that. Hold on to that and create your allies, your groups. And I know that you're doing that already so that when you do step into that, you have that ability to run with that. Because you're right. I hear the same thing here in Houston. We bring talent from all over the world
Sure.
to work in the medical center, to work at NASA, to work in the energy corridor. When we have so many kids here, that we need to continue to create those opportunities for them to be able to embrace and get into and get those oficios, like the way my dad was able
Mhm.
to work with the phone company. He worked for many years at the phone
Yeah.
company, retired with benefits, was able to raise a family of four, on
Yeah.
one con un sueldo, right?
Yeah.
And
That's winning at life. Yeah, that's winning.
exactly. How do we make sure that
Absolutely.
we bring that back? So our kids, like your kids, I got two teenage girls. What are we going to make sure that it's there waiting for them so that they too can also prosper
Yeah,
the
I got
way.
I got four boys myself, so yeah.
Wow. Yeah. 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 Well, thank you so much. And in closing, what has been the biggest learning, I guess, lesson that you're taking from all of your campaigning, going into this new arena?
I think the biggest lesson is that I'm such a driven person, and once I have my mindset and my goals, I'm very goal oriented, and but I I'm gonna work my hardest to win this race. But if I don't win this race, it'll be because it just wasn't meant to be.
Mm,
I have learned to accept things that are out of my control as long as I tried my hardest
mm,
and do my best. And I have a very easygoing philosophical way of viewing life, that regardless of what happens, I know God has a plan for me,
absolutely.
and I trust it. And if it's my destiny to win and represent the people of South Texas, then so be it. And if not, I'm okay with that too. I am perfectly, the reason I'm doing this is I really, really want to help and represent my people.
Hmm.
And it's a privilege and an honor to be able to do so. So I look forward to earning the people's
Yeah.
vote by putting in the work. Because I
Yes.
really believe that if people see how hard you work as a campaigner,
Hmm.
I think that can be very indicative of how you'll be as a representative.
Absolutely.
And so it's just that I I've learned to be able to accept whatever comes my way. I think I have the maturity level now at this point in my life,
Hmm.
to be able to accept whatever my destiny be.
Así, y así es. Así será. So I'll
Primero,
be
primero
praying.
Dios.
Primero Dios, I'll be praying. I'll be lighting candles. And from Houston, I will be telling my family, sharing with my family in the Rio Grande Valley, because I have family all up and down the valley, to say, hey,
Yep.
listen,
Yep.
watch, observe, get to know that there's someone out there that's going to have your back. Get involved with politics, because everything is political. From the water you drink to the road that
Yeah.
you ride on,
Yeah.
to the extra money you got to pay for the stuff that you're buying now, everything is political. Your child's
Everything is.
education, todo. Les trato de decir en una manera que puedan ver, like, oh yeah, okay, I never thought about that. So thank you so much for sharing of today. Now, one last thing, what are you doing to take care of you? Because I'm in the mental health space. What do you do to take care of you so that the next day you wake up y le echas ganas?
Gosh, I don't know. I try to sleep
Mm-hmm.
as much as I can, but it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
I've become a professional sleeper on the road and on
Uh-huh.
planes.
Uh-huh.
I have a travel with a neck pillow everywhere I go, just to
Mm-hmm.
try to get as much sleep as I can. And yes, I'll tell you, there are anybody that's ever run for office, I know, can attest to this.
Mm.
Um, it is a case study in mental health, because
Mhm.
there are days where you feel really, really positive
Yeah.
about everything, and there are some days that you cannot see the light.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
And then, these negative thoughts creep in, and it's really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to kind of try to deal with it. And,
Yeah.
and I deal with it in my own way. I don't see anybody for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not opposed to seeing somebody for that, but so far you just kind of learn how to navigate those rough periods of time.
Yeah.
Um, Running for office is truly a unique experience,
Mm-hmm.
compared to a lot of other jobs
Mm-hmm.
and other things that are out there, because there's really not much to prepare you, for all the amount of negativity that gets talked about you or thrown
Mm-hmm.
your way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's really not many jobs where you have
Mm-hmm.
to deal with that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so unique in that way
Yeah.
that you do get a lot of love, and then you get a lot of hate.
Mm.
And so there's you know, and I'll confess, right, as a protection mechanism,
Yeah.
we have, I always thought that politicians were just really shameless,
Mm.
and I never really understood it, but I understand it now, because you
Mm.
kind of have to let everything just roll off your back, because they're throwing all this kind of crap towards you,
Mm-hmm.
right? That they're talking about you or this and that. And if you listen to it, it will affect you.
Yeah.
So you just kind of learn to tune it out,
Mm.
right? And learn how to deal with it. But it's really unpleasant, and there's nothing that can prepare you for it.
Yeah.
There just
Yeah.
isn't, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and so that's the one thing that's kind of stood out
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
running.
Pues sí. Pues sí. Pues
Yeah.
cuídate.
Yeah, of
Make
course.
sure you eat. Make sure you catch those Z's whenever you can.
I do.
And whatever we can do from Houston to promote you, to share you. What if people can't vote for you? What can they do for you from
Well,
afar?
you can go in on our website, Bobby Pulido for Texas. Um, it takes money to run campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that's just
Mm-hmm.
the way it is, right? I wish it wasn't
Dinero,
like
okay.
that.
No, pero
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they can donate whatever, $10,
Okay.
$20, right? And also, if you have family members that live in the RGV, especially in the east, like Donna,
Mm-hmm.
Weslaco, Mercedes, Ecal, Chelsea, Far San Juan, Alamo, Edinburgh, Texas, in those areas in the valley, if you have family members, I would encourage you to tell them to give us a look,
Okay.
and if they can support us, to support us. I think that's it. That's where it's at for us.
Okay. And I think that's so needed. We're gonna have to send prayers, money, talk to the familia that lives out there. And by the way, my dad was born in Mercedes. And so making sure that the word is spread out. If that's anything we can do from afar, I will make sure to share
Yeah,
this and reshare this so that people can know how they can still support, because you have a lot of fans out there that
yeah,
maybe can't vote for you, but we can do other things to make sure that you can get
that's
in
right.
through
That's right.
donations and prayers, and passing on the message to our family out there. Pues
That's
muchas
right.
gracias.
Y a ti, muchas gracias a ti por tenerme aquí. Te mando un fuerte abrazo. Gracias,
Gracias,
Claudia.
Bobby. Gracias. Y mucho gusto de conocerte aquí. Ojalá que otra vez, ya cuando ya estés en la oficina, quisiera hacer otra entrevista.
Yo
Um,
encantado siempre, encantado
sí.
siempre.
Y mis
Sí,
hijas learned about you over the summer in a program that is called Escuelita. And
ok.
they taught them all about the schools that were created up and down the Rio Grande Valley when there was a need to teach Mexicanos, right? When
Ujú.
they were not allowed to go into the schools like everyone else. And they showed them a TED talk, and it was of you. And after
Yeah,
they met you on that TED talk, they're like, wait, is that the guy that's saying this? And I go, yes, mom, that's what it is. Is that the guy that you're going to interview? I go, yes, mom, it is. So I'm already teaching them well and sharing with them like it's your responsibility. You'll be 18 at some point and you'll get a chance to vote
yeah,
and vote for people like Mr. Bobby Pulido. So
yeah.
gracias.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
De nada.
Gracias.
Adios.
Adiós.
All right, my friends. So you had a chance to listen in and get a chance to meet Bobby Pulido, and there's a lot of amazing things that he said, a lot of gems of who he is. You know, he said he speaks from the heart when he is out and about, getting a chance to listen to constituents, going on those listening tours. Um, he talks about showing up, that's a huge part of it, is just showing up and being authentic. And, you know, he tries not to succumb to that, the bullying that's happening on social media. He talked about how he turned around even a negative thing that was thrown at him by his opponent about being a Tejano singer and singing at quinceañeras, and how he took that, turned it around, called it out, because he's a fighter. If he has to fight, he will fight when he needs to fight, but also making sure that he embraced that what was supposed to be negative, which is quinceañeras, him performing at quinceañeras. It was said he should stick to singing at quinceañeras, and he took that as an opportunity to turn it around and connect with more families, to announce and to say what he's doing. So we need a lot more candidates like Mr. Bobby Pulido. And may we also do our best to show up in our authentic self, to show up and support and knock down the negativity, because we need to bring humanity. I've been saying that for a while, that we need to bring humanity back in everything that we do. Even if it's a smile to a stranger. And yes, when you get roughed up by some words, or someone said something about the way you vote or your candidate or whatever, try to look at them and let it roll off your back as best as you can. But don't let it change who you are. So thank you. I just saw some comentarios from Ilsa Garcia. Yes, some comments here from a couple of listeners. Way to go. I love this. Take the high road, Bobby. And also, you know, I excellent interview. Thank you so much. This station, this platform has been created to uplift stories, to uplift journeys, to uplift candidates, to share, so that you can go and be an informed voter, an informed human, an informed parent or tia or whatever, right? Because there's kids all around us and they're learning from us. What we do and say is what they do and say. So it's been a pleasure. It was a pleasure to have Mr. Bobby Pulido on today to share what he's doing and why he's doing it, which is running for a seat in Congress. All right, so a couple of things I wanted to share. And Liliana, I want to know if you could bring up a flyer, because I want to invite the audience. You know, we're talking about positive events, positive things, positive connections. And I want to share the Awaken Her Houston, a women's collective series. It's a series of charlas, reuniones, pláticas that are all about women and for women. And men are invited too. And the next one, we've had several. This is going to be our third one. And these different events are leading up to the International Women's Festival. So for this one that's coming up, we had one, it's our third one. It's coming up May 27th. It's a free event. And the topic or the theme is Awaken Her, Voices of Healing and Power. So we're going to have an empowering conversation with women authors, leaders, and advocates who are creating the space for healing, for representation, and impact. All right. So go to Eventbrite. We have a link. We're going to share that link with you. Get your free ticket. We're going to have light bites. We're going to have door prizes. And the 4 amazing women that are coming out as part of the panel are Dr. Gabriela Baez-Aventura. She is a director of Arte Público Press. We have Ushi Clark. She is a certified breathing, breathwork teacher, as well as Reiki master. I think I said that right. We also have the Reverend Dr. Stephanie Wilkins. She is also known as a devoted diva deacon. She has been on TED Talk. She has books that she's published as well. And we have Xochitl Rodriguez, who is a licensed mental health professional. So they're all going to come out. We're gonna have a fireside chat, and we would love for you to join and be a part of this. It's going to be at the ballroom at Tanglewood, May 27th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The program begins around 7:15. And just come on out. Come on out and connect. Connect with yourself. Maybe you need some me time to get out and do something for yourself. Connect with some maybe new people that you're going to meet at this event. Connect with your comadres or your friends. Gather up some friends and come on out, your colleagues, and have a chance to listen, learn, and take away some pearls of wisdom. So that's coming up, and we'd love to have you there. And I will be the MC. I will be the moderator for that event, and we'd love to have you. So, all right. So this is, we've come to the end of our show today, the Claudia Macias podcast. And I want to say a huge thank you to the people and the businesses that keep this going. One of them is the Cookie Face Cosmetics, one of our sponsors. Another sponsor is Ilsa's Glam Boutique. She always makes sure that I have some nice earrings to wear and purses. We also have Chris Pignon Media. All the pictures that you ever see that I post when I'm promoting the shows, that's all his work. And he also has a little, remember I interviewed him? He also has a movie. So you got to check out his movie too. And another sponsor is Men Awake. So some productos for the woman who is going through perimenopause and menopause. She has an amazing line of products. So thank you to all of our great sponsors for making sure that my show, the Claudia Macias podcast, is up and here for you on make sure I gotta say this right. admirable radio.com. Did I say it right, comadre? Where are you?
I'm here, comadre. I'm here, comadre. Admirable.
AdmirableRadio.com is here for you. It's our new home. It's our new place. Come back, because we're going to have some more people coming up that you're going to admire after you hear from them.
And if they want to reach out to you, they can always email you.
Yeah, you can email me at claudiaiselamacias@gmail.com. If you want to be part of the show, you have something to share, let me know. You have something that benefits humankind, let me know. We'll get you on so that you too can share your story, your product, your service, your organization. All right. This has been the Claudia Macias podcast. Until next time.